what happened was we were looking for a place, a hotel, motel. Well, it was a hotel, and we a street hustler found us, and he said, "I take you to a place. I get you good hashish." And I went, "Mark, I don't like
Yeah,
this.
like this is kind of sketchy.
Yeah,
This guy is
it's
telling
scary,
me,
man. I've never smoked a joint or anything." He
I know
says,
you're
"Okay, no."
smoking the strongest stuff.
Oh yeah. So we go to this hotel. There's a sign, Istanbul Hotel. Knock on the door for about 5 minutes. Nobody answers. I said, Mark, I don't like this because it was on a side street,
Hmm.
one of these narrow alleys. Like
Yeah.
I talk about that in here too. It's pretty
Oh, okay.
interesting. So, so finally the door opens and here's this hippie guy enters the door.
Yeah.
He's about my size, skinnier than me,
Yeah.
and I described him, and he's got a
Describing
leather
in the
a
book.
leather jacket. He's got rings and jewelry on his arms. He's got these purple glasses. He's got a mustache and a beard. He answers the door. He says, "Far fucking out. You guys looking for a place to stay? You want to get stoned? Come on in. Come on up to my room."
Hell
And
yeah.
Mark says, "Jump. Let's go."
Yeah, let's get
So
stoned.
we
And
did
this
it.
is the first time you've gotten stoned.
No,
No, okay.
the first thing I got, the first high was back in Madrid when I met Mark in
Madrid,
Paris.
Spain. Okay. This is when before you crossed over to Morocco.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Madrid is like central Spain, and we were heading down, and we got to Madrid. Mark was saying to me, "God, Joe, I just want to get stoned." I said, "Well, go ahead." He says, "There's a cafe around the corner, a bunch of hippies." I
Hmm.
said, "Do your thing." I went and bought a $10 guitar and sat on the curb and played songs. And so a little bit later, he comes back and he says, "I met a guy who's got some mescaline,
Hmm.
and we can go to his place, and he has two hits left. He'll take one and split a couple with us." And I said, "Well, I don't know about that, Mark, but I'll go with you."
Hmm.
So we go to his place. He takes a hit, and then he gives Mark a half and a half to me, and it was like, I never even smoked a joint before. I don't know if I really want to do this.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, it's only a half a hit, Joe. It probably isn't that strong."
Hmm.
So I said, "Well, why not?" So we took it, and then the young man that gave it to us, said, "Let's go to a cafe." So we go to a cafe. This is like a Friday night. Everybody's out having a good time, cars and traffic and beautiful women, and just the whole thing was a really exciting Friday night. So we go to this restaurant, and I'm sitting there, and after about 20 minutes, I told my friend, I said, "Nothing's happening." He said, "Give it more time."
Give it more time.
Yeah.
This is you. So you already smoked a joint at this point?
No,
No. So you haven't smoked it.
I have never been high.
Oh, okay.
I did it as a priest. So somebody gave me a joint, but I didn't do it right. I didn't get high. So I had never been high before. So I'm sitting there at the table, and all of a sudden, I see flashes of light on the edge of my eyes,
Yeah.
kind of white flashes, like, "Wing, wing." And I was going, something's happening now. And I said, "I think I want to go outside."
Mhm.
So we go outside, and the first thing I see is a traffic light.
Okay.
And boy, it was the most beautiful traffic light that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, we spent the entire night going around town. I was hugging trees, and my friend, I could see his aura. I could
Oh,
see every blood vessel in his body. It was really good stuff. It's
wow.
organic mescaline. So that lasted the entire night. And that was my first experience of getting high. And
Okay.
then
So
the next time was,
so you did mescaline before you even did cannabis.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was probably the most beautiful experience I've ever had.
And would you say that this mescaline psychedelic experience kind of opened you up to that there's more to the spiritual life than you being a Catholic? Like it was like, wait, there's more to it than what is in this holy book.
Well, yeah, I had heard about drugs, and we had hippies in our church,
Hmm.
but I never thought much about it. But after this mescaline trip, it was like the next morning I told Mark, I said, "God, what was that shit?"
Yeah.
It's like, wow. So he gave me a pill to come down off it.
Hmm.
So when we got to Morocco, I knew that I had an altered state. It wasn't really. It was more. It was more visual than inner and spiritual.
Mm.
Everything. I mean, everything was moving. All the trees in Madrid were breathing, and
Mm.
everything was just so alive. It was a beautiful stuff, you know.
Mm.
So then, then in Morocco, that's where I started.
You started smoking hash.
What happened was Mark went over to Mark. We went up to Mike's room upstairs. He had a really nice room up on the
Mm-hmm.
top floor, and Mark got stoned, and I pretended.
Mm-hmm.
I just took a hit of the hash, but I blew it out. I didn't want to get high.
Yeah.
So Mark went over to the Rock of Gibraltar, and I stayed with Uncle Mike. I called him, and he was smoking all day, every day, because the owner of our hotel would give us a piece of hash about this big every day,
Ooh.
because we were bringing him.
How were you smoking it? In a pipe, a bong?
We did everything, mostly bongs.
Okay, mostly
You know,
bongs.
from Indian.
There was no. It was not mixed with flour. It was just pure hashish.
Pure hashish.
Okay.
It was pure. Uh, Chillum. You know what
Chillum,
chillum
yeah,
is?
chillum, like
Yeah,
like
you
kind of
put
like
it.
that.
Yes, like,
Yeah, you smoke.
and they're that big, and we just fill it with hash.
What was the experience of smoking hash like? Mentally,
I wrote
emotionally,
about it.
spiritually.
I wrote about it. I did. I have. Of
Did it
course,
feel like it was enlightening? Did it feel just like you were more like comatose? Were you active? What kind of altered mind states did it get you in?
what I wrote on paper, and I remember this. It was like my brain had been a sponge that was squeezed tight, and when I smoked hash, it just opened up the sponge.
Mm.
It was like my brain just got so open.
Do you think the sponge it got you like your brain was constricted through your past conditioning
Oh,
as being a
definite,
Catholic priest?
definitely.
So the hash kind of like it just busted open that what do they call it, the doorway of perception, or the open the veil,
I read that book, Doorway of
right?
Perception. Yeah, it's a great book.
Cracked open
That's what I felt.
the dormant yeah, the dormant.
Just opened up parts of me that I didn't know I even had.
Yeah, it makes you really think creatively and think outside of the what's considered normal, or
Yeah,
it gets you in the direct experience of felt presence of this is reality right here. It's not in the mind of the past, or like thinking about the future. It's like what I'm experiencing right here with my body and the environment around me.
it's a total different person. I was a total different person, and my mind was totally different.
Mm.
It wasn't the limited, fearful, conscious mind anymore. It
So
was
it
this
went
other
from
mind over here.
limited, fearful, conscious mind to opening and more awake and more in a calm or harmonious state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was beautiful. I
And
felt
so you
so.
would say like the experience of doing the mescaline and then the hash, it allowed you to open up your brain and be more receptive to new information,
That I
to living
wasn't
a
even
different
aware of.
lifestyle. Did you stop being a priest, or how did you live your life from that moment forward?
I mean, when I was like in Morocco,
Yeah, like when you're in
well,
30s, where you still like, I'm still gonna be
I left.
preaching
No,
the.
no, I left the priesthood. I was done with it
Okay, so you already
until I
had,
smuggled. Then I dressed up as a priest, and
and
I
you had
smuggled.
smuggled, yeah, yeah.
No, I gave it up. Well, once I got stoned that first time, what happened in our hotel, we were like the first two hippies in the hotel, but within 2 or 3 weeks,
Hmm.
the word got out that there was the guy that brought the Moroccan street hustler that took us to that hotel started bringing other people. And Mark and I rented out a room there in the hotel. And within 2 weeks, we would have probably 10 to 15 hippies sitting around the living room in a circle, passing the smoke around, lighting the candle in the center, and then LSD would come around. I
Mm.
mean, I didn't have to leave the room. I think my first LSD trip was on New. I got to Morocco in November, in October, and I took my first acid in November. I think I have it in here, mentioned the date. So I wasn't out of the priesthood very long. 2 months after I left, I was doing mescaline, and then by Christmas time, I was smuggling.
Yeah. And so you dressed up as a priest, and we were smuggling hash in your pockets in your coat.
Well, let's see. The first thing I did, trying to remember how it all worked out. The first thing I did was dressed up as a priest, went to the airport. I wanted to fly out on New Year's Day because I didn't want the police in the Rock of Gibraltar to check me out or anything, because they probably had dogs. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I think I smuggled a couple of pounds. We would just get uh,
Yeah, you can write on there.
we got 2 kilos of hashish, and we just put it on my chest.
Oh, okay.
I